tracking Elsa, still a tropical storm as it passes over Cuba.
Here's a look at the latest satellite imagery of that storm.
Parts of our viewing area already feeling some of the storm's outer bands. Let's go ahead and take a live look at the Local 10 radar. Here it is right now. Storms rolling into Pembroke Pines this afternoon. A viewer sent us this video of the thunder and driving rain.
And take a look at this new video that we just got. A viewer tweeting out this video showing a chair kind of flying off a patio, landing on a nearby building. This is in Sunny Isles Beach. It's a good reminder to secure that patio furniture. We have a lot to talk about in the weather department, that's for sure.
Chief Certified Meteorologist Betty Davis and Hurricane Specialist Brian Norcross are here. But Betty, we start with you.
The weather is settling down for now for parts of Broward and Dade as well. That nasty rain band lifted in and produced winds 40 to almost 50 miles per hour, depending on where you are or were in parts of Dade and Broward County. But you can see the heavier storms moving up into Palm Beach County. Miami's still left in a flood advisory, though. This is going to go until 6:30, so there may still be some standing water out there in some spots. But rainfall is more of our issue now as opposed to severe weather. We'll keep track of that band as it lifts up toward the north. We'll also keep track of these little showers developing over the straits, moving in toward the Keys. So far, nothing problematic showing up, but we know that story is going to change later on tonight. Here is the 5 p.m. advisory, by the way, on Elsa. These are the new numbers. Maximum sustained winds of 50 miles per hour. It's moving northwest at 14 miles per hour. So interaction with land as it's moving over western Cuba now, causing it to weaken. And notice just how it's presenting itself on the infrared satellite imagery, not necessarily looking like a well put together system. But at any rate, we dealt with one rain band and there are more rain bands tied up with the system. And as far as the forecast track, Brian, I'm not noticing any real big changes here. Still forecast to pass near the lower Keys early on Tuesday. I think a good question would be, once it moves off land and over the straits and gets over those waters, how much more strengthening could we see?
I think we'll see a little bit, Betty, and that's why they have it peaking up just a little as it gets to the Keys and even a little bit more. But the upper level winds are not especially favorable over the Gulf, which is really a good thing for the folks north of Fort Myers up toward Tampa Bay, where they have a very, very vulnerable coastline, and they're going to get more or less a direct hit somewhere up that way. Okay, here we are. You talked about the 50-mile-an-hour winds because of the land, and you see the movement only at 14. So this is not clipping along like it was. And, you know, for a system that's sitting over land, it doesn't look great, but it's only a 50-mile-an-hour tropical storm. It doesn't look terrible either, so I do think it'll probably reorganize some. It's going to be all about the bands, though. That's the big thing. You talked about the one that has been affecting Miami-Dade County and parts of Broward. That's an outer band. So yes, you have some gusty winds, but things move by very quickly, and it's not kind of a big deal. The two bigger bands are band number 2 down here and band number 3, the one the closest to the center. And I think this band number 3 is the one that's likely to affect the lower Keys. Band number 2 might get the upper Keys, or perhaps even just fringe occasionally Miami-Dade and Broward County. All right, so what's going to happen here in terms of timing? About 2 o'clock in the morning, it's approaching the waters to the west of Key West. That's in terms of the center of the storm. But if you look at the winds, the Hurricane Center forecasts how far out the 40-mile-an-hour winds go, and you see they do indeed affect the lower Keys, those tropical storm force winds. So that's why they have the tropical storm warning in effect. If you look at just the odds of how likely they are to affect different areas, here you see the oranges affecting the lower and middle Keys. In other words, more likely to have winds over 40 miles an hour, only a slight chance in the yellow. Miami-Dade and Broward, no sustained winds are likely over 40 miles an hour, but we could see occasionally some gusts. The models are all in agreement that the cone is good, so we have confidence this is the way it's going to play out. So lower and middle Keys, the strongest winds over 50 miles an hour. Upper Keys, gusts up to 40, maybe 6 inches of rain. Miami-Dade County, just now and then, gusty downpours. I don't think we're going to have any big problems in either Miami-Dade or Broward County.